let's start off with question number 1. Okay, question number 1. Let's read this question and understand what this question is trying to tell us. XL Limited has 3 production departments and 4 service departments. So 3 production departments and 4 service departments. The expenses for these departments as per primary distribution summary are as follows. Guys, they have already calculated till primary distribution summary and given to you in this problem. Okay, so collection was done, classification was done if at all required, and they have also done the allocation and apportionment then given to you. That is how we get our primary distribution summary. So production departments are A, B, C. After primary distribution, the balances accumulated for these 3 departments are given here. Correct? Service departments, we have 4 service departments: stores, timekeeping and accounts, power, canteen. The expenses as per primary distribution have also been furnished for these service departments after apportionment. After apportionment. Okay, the following information is also available in respect of the production departments. What have they given? Horsepower of machines. This is nothing but, yesterday we were discussing HP of machines. HP of machines. This is a unit of power. This is a unit of power. So horsepower of machines. Number of workers have been given for each of the 3 departments, department A, B, C. Value of stores requisition has also been given for the 3 departments. Prepare a statement apportioning the cost of service departments over the production departments using direct redistribution method. Guys, direct redistribution method was that method of reapportionment where the service departments are not involved with each other. They are not serving each other. They are only going to be serving their production departments. That is the first method of reapportionment. Very, very simple. So in this problem and the next few set of problems that we are going to be doing, we are going to be concentrating on those methods of reapportionment. How to apply those methods. So this problem is talking about the first method, which is direct redistribution. So shall we start off? Please come to your answer scripts or notebooks. So statement showing reapportionment of service department costs to production departments for XL Limited. So let's drop a table. So particulars ABC, A, B, C, stores, timekeeping and accounts, power, canteen. So overheads as per primary distribution summary. So let's jot down the figures. 30 lakhs, 26 lakhs, 24 lakhs, then 4 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 1,60,000, 1 lakh. Guys, these are the figures which they have only given to us in the problem, right? So now I am to reapportion. Now I am to reapportion. In reapportionment, what happens? All the service department balances will become zero because they will transfer these balances to production departments. And in this problem, we are doing direct redistribution method, which means these service departments are not serving each other. Very, very easy. So first we will take stores department, right? We will take stores department. So we can say stores, let's make this minus 4 lakh. Let's make this minus. Stores is not going to give anything to these three because they are all not related. But this 4 lakh has to be given to A, B and C. Guys, in what ratio will we give this 4 lakh to A, B and C? From this problem that they have given, how do we distribute 4 lakh to A, B and C? In what ratio? In what ratio? This is stores department. Stores department. So HP of machine is power. HP of machine is power. So the third expense that you see there, power, 1,60,000, that will be distributed using HP of power. Correct? So in this case, stores, 4 lakh, how do I distribute? So power I know cannot be used. Number of workers, maybe. But let's see if there is something else. Value of stores requisition. Guys, clearly this is a ratio which relates to the stores overhead, which they have given of 4 lakhs. Correct? So we will use this ratio, which is value of stores requisition. So let's write down in the ratio of stores requisition. In the ratio of stores requisition, what is that ratio? 2,50,000 is to 1,50,000 is to 1 lakh. So we'll make it smaller. Can I say it is 2.5 is to 1.5 is to 1? 2.5 is to 1.5 is to 1. Can I say this? Or if you want to not express it like that, you can express it as whichever way you want. You can take this as 25 is to 15 is to 10. That also is all right. So it's up to you. You can further reduce this ratio to 5 is to 3 is to 2. This is also okay. It's up to you. Can you please divide and tell me how much you get under each department? 4 lakh when divided in this ratio, how much do you get under A, under B, under C? So the first one is 2 lakh. First one is 2 lakh. Second one is 1,20,000. Third one is 80,000. Correct? Yes. Right, Harriet. Next. So stores balance is 0. Now we will take timekeeping and accounts. Guys, this also has to become 0. So I'll make it 0. Timekeeping and accounts department gives nothing to power, gives nothing to canteen, gives nothing to stores. So timekeeping and accounts in the ratio. Guys, in what ratio do I divide this? I cannot use HP of power. Doesn't seem right. Because timekeeping and accounts has nothing to do with power. Correct? Value of stores requisition also doesn't make sense because that has to be used for stores. The only ratio that makes sense is number of workers. So in the ratio of number of workers, what is that ratio? 20:15:15. 20:15:15 can be written as 4:3:3. 4:3:3. So let's divide and see how much we get. So first one is 1,20,000. Second and third is 90,000. Yes. Next, these two are nil now. Now power cost we will divide. So let's make that nil. So power, that is very clear, guys, in the ratio of HP of machines. How much is the ratio? 300, 300, 200. So can I say 3:3:2? 3:3:2. Please divide it. First one is 60,000. Second one is 60,000. Last one is 40,000. 40,000. See if you've got this. Finally, the only department left is the last department. Which department is that? Canteen department, 1 lakh. Let's make this 0 first. Canteen department is not serving any of the other service departments. So let's write down canteen. Guys, this is very clear. In the ratio of, which ratio for canteen department? In the ratio of number of workers. In the ratio of number of workers, which was 4:3:3. So 40,000, 30,000, 30,000. 40,000, 30,000, 30,000. So all done. All done. Calculate. This is my secondary distribution summary. Secondary distribution summary. Tell me the total, guys. Tell me the total. So I am getting 34,20,000 here. 34,20,000. Next. Next. Next one should be 29 lakhs. 29 lakhs. And the last one should be 2640. 2640. Service departments nil, because they have transferred all their balances to production departments. Guys, this was using direct method. This was using direct method. Guys, have you all got? Okay. Shall we move on to the next problem then? Okay, so let's move on to the next problem. Question bank. Please come to your question bank. Let's read problem number 2. Let's read problem number 2. Suppose the expenses of two production departments A and B and two service departments X and Y are as follows. Okay, so we have two production departments and we have two service departments. X and Y are my service departments. A and B are my production departments. So what have they given? They have given you the costs after primary distribution summary for X, Y, A, B. Okay, they have given us the apportionment basis. So see here, guys, X, department X, which is my service department, is apportioning the expenses as follows between Y, A and B. So it is giving 25 of its expenses to Y, 40% of its expenses to A, 35% of its expenses to B, and department Y, which is the other service department, is giving nothing to itself. Obviously, they haven't given anything about X. 40% it gives to A and 60% it gives to B. Guys, what do we understand from this particular problem? the relationship between X and Y. What do we understand about the relationship between X and Y from the given table? So two departments, X and Y, okay, which are service departments, in which they have given apportionment basis for X's cost to Y. But for Y, they haven't given anything in relation to X. So what is the relationship that you can derive between X and Y from this given problem? Anybody? Yes. So Pawan is right. In this case, guys, X department is serving Y because they have given you apportionment basis here. So whatever are the costs of X, that is 2 lakh rupees, have to be divided between Y, A and B. But if you see Y is not serving X anywhere. They have not given any relationship between Y to X, but they have given a relationship between X to Y. So in this case, we will be using the second method of reapportionment, which is the non-reciprocal method or the step ladder method. So hopefully they have also given us the same thing in the problem. Prepare a statement apportioning the cost of service departments over the production departments using step method. So shall we start? So come to your answer script. So question number two, statement showing reapportionment of service department costs to production departments. Have they given a name for this organization? No, they haven't. But using step ladder method. So particulars A, B, X, Y. A, B, X, Y. So let's write down primary distribution summary. Guys, so in this problem also, they have only apportioned, allocated and given us the primary distribution summary. So A and B, they are my production departments. How much is the balance there? 3 lakh and 3,20,000. So let's write 3 lakh and 3,20,000. Guys, for X and Y, how much is it? 2 lakh and 1,50,000. So 2 lakh and 1,50,000. Now guys, X is serving Y, but Y is not serving X back in return. So between the two, I told you yesterday, who should we start distributing first? Should we start distributing X first or should we start distributing Y first? Between the two, X or Y? Absolutely. We will start distributing X first because X is serving all departments. So that department, that service department which serves all departments will go first unless they have told in the problem that some other department will go first. Okay. So in this case, first we will reapportion X's overheads to A B and Y. So X is overheads. X is overheads. Let's make this 0 first. Now X is going to give its overheads to A, B and Y in what ratio, guys? 40%, 35%, 25%. So let's write 40, 35, 25. Guys, just because in the problem they have given 25 first, 40 first, 35 later, don't take the same ratio. See what is happening. X is giving 40% to A. In my table, what is coming first? 40% will come first. So ratio will be 40% is to B is how much? 35%. So please open your eyes while doing the problem. Don't get confused. And 25%. So please divide this. Please divide this and tell me how much you get. So first one should be 80,000. Second one should be 70,000. And third one 25% will be 50,000. $80,000, $70,000, $50,000. So 2 lakh is done. 2 lakh is done. Next, now I will distribute Y. So Y's overhead. Y's overhead. What are they saying about Y's overhead, guys? It only goes to A and B in the ratio of 40:60. So 40:60. But guys, how much? How much of Y will go to A and B? So nothing comes to X, we know that. Let's put dash. How much will go? Will 1,50,000 go or will 1,50,000 plus 50 go? So obviously Y's overhead has to be nil at the end of the day. So 1,50,000 plus 50, which is 2 lakh. This entire 2 lakh will be distributed to A and B in the ratio of 40%:60%. So please do it. Tell me how much you're getting. So you get 80,000 and 1,20,000. Perfect. So let's conclude the problem. So this is nil, this is nil. I have transferred everything. Tell me the total. So this is secondary distribution summary. Secondary distribution summary. So 4,60,000 and 5,10,000. Please check if you've got the same answer. Guys, come to problem number 3. Okay, let's read. Let's read. Service department's expenses. Service department's expenses. Boiler house 3 lakh. Pump room 60,000. Total is 3,60,000. So here guys, here my service departments are what? One is boiler house, the other one is pump room. They have already done the primary distribution summary and given to us, okay, for these two. The allocation basis is production departments are A and B, service departments are boiler house and pump room. Okay, so now see, boiler house will allocate its expenses to A 60%, B 35%. Boiler house will not give anything to itself, but to pump room it will give 5%. So boiler house is serving pump room, very clear, because some part of the expenses are going and getting allocated to pump room. Similarly, pump room is going to serve A 10%, B 40%. Pump room is also serving boiler house 50%. Obviously, it will not serve itself. So guys, what is the relationship that you derive between boiler house and pump room in this particular question? So it is reciprocal method, because boiler house is also serving pump room is also serving boiler house. So now we need to figure out how to apportion these expenses to each other and then reapportion it to production departments. So apportion using simultaneous equation method. We had two methods under reciprocal method. One method was called as what? Simultaneous equation method, and the other method was called as repeated redistribution method. So in this particular problem, which is problem 3, we are to solve using simultaneous equation method, not repeated redistribution method. If the question does not say anything, let's say this question had not said anything, they had simply said reapportion, then what do? Then you do whatever you want. You can use repeated redistribution also. You can use simultaneous equation also. But in this question, they are very specific that simultaneous equation method only has to be used. So let's go ahead and start solving this question. But before we solve this question, we need to understand how to use this simultaneous equation method. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's take an example here only. Boiler house, pump room. Correct? Boiler house, pump room. Now, as per primary distribution summary, they have told that boiler house, the expenses are 3 lakh. Pump room, the expenses are 60,000. Correct? But guys, is this the total expenses in boiler house and pump room? Are these the total expenses in boiler house and pump room? No, right? They're not the total expenses, because boiler house has to receive something from pump room. Correct? They have given in this allocation table, and pump room also has to receive something from boiler house. So these 3 lakh and 60,000 are not my total expenses under boiler house and pump room. So let's say the total expenses under boiler house and pump room are X and Y. I don't know how much are the total expenses. Guys, yes or no? Because boiler house has to receive something from pump room. We don't know how much is that something. Correct? Pump room also has to receive something from boiler house, because both are serving each other. I don't know how much that is. So let's see, after boiler house receives something from pump room and pump room receives something from boiler house, let's say the total expenses under boiler house come to X and total expenses under pump room come to Y. Okay, so now we need to understand what is boiler house receiving from pump room. Now see here, when pump room is giving off its expenses, it is giving 10% to A, 40% to B and 50% to boiler house, which means boiler house will get 50% of the expenses of pump room. Guys, which expenses? naturally the total expenses of each of these two service departments will be allocated. So when I say pump room is giving 10% expenses to production department A, what is that 10%? 10% I know. Of what? Of what? Don't you think it should be total? 10% of total. What is total? What is total? I don't know what is total. I have assumed it to be Y. Yes or no? I have assumed it to be Y. So now 10% of Y is going to A, 40% of Y is going to B. Guys, 50% of Y is going to boiler house, So can I say this missing figure here, which is empty here, is nothing but 50% of Y? Can I say that, guys? Why did I take X as the total? Because 3 lakh was given to me. But boiler house was supposed to receive something from pump house. That's something we didn't know. That's why I left it missing now. That's why I took the total of boiler house to be X. So that something that boiler house will receive from pump room, can I say it is 50% of Y? Because Y also I don't have. But I know that pump room will give 50% of its total to boiler house. So can I say this is 50% Y? Similarly, for pump room, 60,000 is what I have already calculated here. Correct? 60,000 is what I have already calculated here. Now pump room will receive something from boiler house. Correct? Now you see boiler house's expenses. Boiler house is giving 60% of its expenses to A, 35% of its expenses to B, and guys 5% of its expenses to pump room. Yes or no? So of its expenses means what? Boiler house will give on total only, right? And I don't know the total. I assume the total to be X. So 60% of X will go to A. 35% of X will go to B, and guys 5% of X will go to pump room. So can I say this missing figure here is nothing but 5% of X? Can I say it is 5% of X? Guys, are you all with me? Everybody? Yes. So once again, see, what did I do? Let's remove this. They have given to me in the problem primary distribution summary, boiler house is 3 lakh, pump room is 60,000. Now if this was redistribution method, direct redistribution method, then 3 lakh is the total for boiler house, 60,000 is the total for pump room, because these two departments are not serving each other. Correct? But in this case, in our question, boiler house is also serving pump house is also serving boiler house, which means something should come here. Something should come here. How? Pump house should send something here because pump house is serving boiler. Pump room is serving boiler house, and similarly something should come here from boiler house. Now that's something we don't know. Correct? Neither do we know the total, because we don't know these two figures, these two question marks. I cannot calculate my total also. So what have I done? I assume my total to be X for boiler house. I assume my total to be Y for pump room. Okay. Now I'm going to remove this. Missing figures we need to find out. Correct? So boiler house, how much of pump room will boiler house receive? So if you see pump room's expenses, it is giving 10% to A, 40% to B, and 50% to boiler house, which means 50% expenses will come here. But guys, 50% on what? Naturally it has to be on the total expenses of pump room, right? And what are my total expenses of pump room? Y. Yes or no? Similarly, pump room also has to receive something from boiler house. So you see boiler house will give 60% of its expenses to A, 35% of its expenses to B, and 5% it is giving to pump room. So 5% will come here. But guys, 5% of what? 5% of total expenses of boiler house. So what are the total expenses? I don't know. I have assumed it to be X. Guys, is it okay? So with this, I very clearly have two equations here which are in terms of X and Y. So shall we move on to the problem? Shall we move on to the problem? The solution to this problem basically. Yes, so come to the classwork. So let's say, let total overheads, let total overheads for departments, boiler house and pump room be X and Y respectively. Be X and Y respectively. So let's write particulars boiler house pump room. Boiler house pump room. So overheads after primary distribution summary. Guys, how much? 3 lakh and 60,000. 3 lakh and 60,000. Now you add share of service department, and total overheads. So total overheads, this is X, this is Y. I have already considered it. So now boiler house is going to receive 50% from pump room, correct? 50% from pump room. So 50% is it's going to receive, but of what? Of the total, which is Y, and similarly pump room is going to receive how much? 5% from boiler house. So 5% of what? Of the total for boiler house, which is X. So can I say I have two equations here? So equation 1 is nothing but 3 lakhs plus, guys, 50% y can I write 0.5y, 50% y can I write 0.5y equals to X. Equation 2 60,000 plus 5% can I write 0.05, so this will be 0.05x equals to y. So I have two equations, both equations have two variables, but here it is very clear. See, both the equations are given in terms of x and y. So can I now to solve this, can I substitute either the value of x in y or the value of y in x? Very simple. So let's say we will substituting equation 2 in equation 1. Okay, so 30,000 plus 0.5, guys, 0.5 y, right? 0.5 y, and what is the value of y? y is equal to 60,000 plus 0.05x. So can I write that here? Instead of writing y, I'll say 60,000 plus 0.05x equals x. Guys, is it okay? I have substituted the value of y in equation 1. Now my equation has become a linear equation. My equation has become a linear equation. Yeah, thank you. This is 3 lakhs. Sorry. My equation has become a linear equation. So now can we solve it? Very, very simple. So let's start solving. 3 lakh plus 30,000 plus 0.025x equals x. So let's solve for x now. So this is 3,30,000. On the other side you get 0.975x. When you take this to the other side, you get 0.975x. So x will be guys, how much do you get? $338,462. Let's round it off. 338,462. So this is the value of x, the total. The total of boiler house comes up to 338,462. Now let's solve for y. Solving for y, we will use equation 2 directly. So y is equal to 60,000 plus 0.05 into x is 338,462. So how much do you get y as? 76,923. 76,923 is what I've got. Please check. Please check. Guys, is it over? So is our solution over? No, right? No, right? We cannot complete this at this stage. We have to still show the reapportionment part. So let's show the reapportionment part, guys. Let's show the reapportionment part. So let's show statement of reapportionment. Statement of reapportionment of service department costs to production departments using simultaneous equations method. So how many production departments did we have? We had 2 production departments, which were A, B, then I had boiler house service department and pump room, another service department. So guys, now we have to show the reapportionment. Here the reapportionment will be a little different. First, let's write down the primary distribution summary which they have given to us. For A and B they haven't given. It's not that it's not there. It's just that they haven't given to us in the problem. That's all. Because our focus here is how it is being transferred. Okay, not what is being accumulated. So boiler house has been given at 3 lakhs and pump room has been given at 60,000. So first we will distribute boiler houses overheads. Guys, now boiler houses overheads are not 3 lakh. Boiler houses overheads are not 3 lakh. It is what you have calculated. It is this. It is this 338,462, because this is what you are going to be apportioning between A, B and pump room. Correct? That is why this was the total. That is why we took this 50% of Y, because this is how boiler house is going to be taking from pump room. Correct? Similarly for pump room, 60,000 is not what you are going to apportion. What will you apportion? You will apportion this total 76,923. So first we will apportion 338,462. Okay, 338,462. So 338,462. This is what we will apportion first. Okay, so how do we apportion this between A, B and pump room? Boiler house is giving 60%, 35% and 5%. So let's calculate. 60% is to 35% is to 5%. So let's calculate how much is going where. So 203,077 goes to department A. $118,462 goes to department B, and pump room is going to get 16,923. Pump room is going to get 16,923. Guys, okay? Now, pump room. How is pump room going to give away overheads? It's going to give away overheads as 10%, 40%, 50%. So 10%, 40%, 50%. Guys, now pump room has already received its share from boiler house, no? So this total should match the value of Y that you have got. Should match the value of Y that you have got. Is it matching? 76,923. Is it what we have got as the value of Y? Yes. Yes. See, magic. It's not magic, it is mathematics. So 76,923. Now this will be distributed between A, B and boiler house in the ratio which is given. Let's do it. Seven, 6, 9, 2, 30,000, 769 and 38, 462. 38, 462. So now our secondary distribution summary. Boiler house and pump room should be 0. Is it 0? Yes. So this total is tallying with this. And similarly, these two are tallying with this. So 0. Tell me the total under A and B. 210, 769, 149, 231. So this is your secondary distribution summary. Let's move on to problem number 4. Let's read the problem. Sands Limited is a manufacturing company having 3 production departments A, B and C and 2 service departments X and Y. The following is the budget for December 2020. Okay, so we have 3 production departments, guys, A, B, C and 2 service departments X and Y. So they have given us the following data. Let's see what they have given. Direct material has been given for A, B, C, X and Y. Direct wages has been given. Factory rent 4 lakh, power 2.5 lakhs, depreciation 1 lakh, other overheads 9 lakh. So all these expenses have been collected and given to us. Unfortunately, in this problem, they haven't apportioned the expenses between A, B, C, X and Y. Which means what? Which means we have to do it. Correct? Which means we have to do it. So here we are going to be starting from step 3. Allocation, apportionment, and then let's see what they have asked. Additional information. Area in terms of square feet they have given. Capital value of assets in lakhs they have given. Machine hours has been given. Horsepower of machines has been given. This is nothing but HP. A technical assessment of the apportionment of expenses of service departments is as under. Service department X gives 45% to A, 15% to B, 30% to C. X cannot give anything to itself but gives 10% to Y. And service department Y gives 60% to A, 35% to B, nothing to C, 5% to X. It cannot give anything to itself. So from this relationship, what do we understand about the service departments X and Y, guys? We understand that X and Y serve each other, right? X is also serving Y is also serving X, which means we are talking about reciprocal method, right? Reciprocal method. So either we use simultaneous equations like we did in the previous problem, or we use repeated redistribution. So let's see what they have asked us in the problem. Required. Prepare a statement showing distribution of overheads to various departments, which means they are asking us for the primary distribution summary, correct? Because till now in the previous problems, they had only distributed everything and given to us. This is the first problem that we are working out in which we have to apportion everything on our own, right? Second, prepare a statement showing redistribution of service department expenses to production departments using repeated redistribution method. Repeated redistribution method. So we have to use repeated redistribution here, because this is first of all reciprocal method. X is serving Y is serving X. We could have used simultaneous, but in the question they have clearly said use repeated redistribution. So this is a new method that we haven't studied. We have done direct method, we have done step ladder method, we have also done simultaneous equation method. So this is the new method, last method which was left over, which we're going to study in this particular problem. Next, also calculate the machine hour rates of the production departments A, B, C. So this is a full-fledged problem which involves all the steps of treatment of overhead. So first we have to do apportionment. If there is allocation, we need to do allocation. Then we need to do reapportionment. We have to do reapportionment using repeated redistribution method. And at the same time, in the end, we also have to calculate the absorption rate, which is on the basis of machine hour rates. Machine hour rates, which means the base in this problem will be machine hours, which is already given to us in the problem. So absorption will be on the basis of machine hours. So it's a full-fledged problem, hence it's going to take time to solve this particular problem. Okay, so guys, before we start off this problem, I had one question to ask you all. Okay, I had one question to ask you all. Okay, so please think before you answer. Now they have given us factory rent, they have given us power, they have given us depreciation, they have given us other overheads. Cool. We know these are all indirect expenses. So if we were to apportion factory rent amongst all the departments, what would we use? What basis are we going to use to apportion factory rent from whatever they have given to us in the problem? What do you think is the most appropriate measure to apportion factory rent? Area. Perfect. So we are going to use area. Area has been given. We are going to use area. We are going to apportion factory rent. Guys, what about power? What about power? Guys, for power, HP is given. Good. We can use HP. But guys, machine hours is also given, right? Machine hours is also given. What did I tell you? When machine hours and power is given, we will use that value when we multiply the two. So for power, we are going to use HP into machine hours. That is a better basis to apportion our power cost. In this problem, both are given, right? So we will use the value which we get by multiplying the two. Okay, fine. This we knew already. Next, depreciation. What are we going to divide depreciation on the basis of? Value of asset. So they have already given that. Value of asset is a good method by which we can divide depreciation. Guys, what about other overheads? Other overheads? Other overheads are basically miscellaneous expenses. Miscellaneous expenses or sundries all mean the same. So what do we divide miscellaneous on the basis of? So guys, usually If they have specifically told you in the problem, use this only for other overhead, then we have to use that. But in this problem, that has not been given. So when we have to divide other overheads or miscellaneous overheads or sundries, we use direct wages only. We use direct wages only. Where is that given? See here. See here. Miscellaneous expenses or indirect wages. You can also add sundries there. You can also add sundries there. We usually use direct expenses, direct wages to divide these kind of expenses. So in the problem, this is sorted. Correct? This is sorted. Guys, what about these two? What about these two? Direct material and direct wages. Should we take that also? They have divided it between A, B, C, X, Y. We'll take that also, right? Should we take that? Yes, no? No. Guys, we do not take direct material and direct wages. Why? Because they're direct expenses. Which chapter are we at? We are at overheads. So overheads are only indirect expenses. So we will not take direct material, direct wages for these departments. Guys, but there is a twist in the tail. There is a twist in the tail. Look at this. Direct material and direct wages which are used in the production departments A, B, C are direct to the product. So we will not consider them. Okay, obviously, because we are only considering indirect expenses. But guys, when we are talking about X and Y, which are service departments in totality, okay, service departments in totality are indirect to the product. Why? Because the product is not passing through them. The product will only pass through the production departments, which is A, B, C. So whatever is incurred in X and Y, will anyway be indirect to the product. So when they are saying direct material here, let's say for service department X, okay, let's say this service department is canteen department. Okay, so when they're saying direct material here, what do you think is the direct material in canteen department? For canteen department, what is the direct material? The food, the raw material that is going in manufacture of food in canteen, right? So let's say they are making idli. So what will the raw material be there? What will the direct material be for idli? The batter, correct? The batter will be raw material or direct material, correct? And let's say they are making tea. What will the raw material be for tea? The raw material will be milk, correct? That is nothing but the direct material. So when they are mentioning direct material here, they are saying direct material and direct labor for X and Y. Okay, but anyways, this entire department X and Y is indirect to the main product that I am manufacturing. So though they are using the batter for idli or they are using milk for tea, that is anyway indirect to the product. So if it is direct to the canteen department, it will still be indirect to the main product that I am manufacturing. Guys, yes or no? So this is called as the concept of deemed overheads. This is called as the concept of deemed overheads. Okay, so when we are talking about direct material and direct wages, for the production departments, direct material and direct wages will never come. They will never come because they are direct expenses. Correct? Direct expenses will not be treated in overheads chapter. The product is passing through ABC, and these direct materials and direct wages that I'm incurring in ABC are absolutely direct to the product. Okay, but X and Y, which are my service departments, are indirect to the product anyways. So whatever is incurred in X and Y will be indirect. It doesn't matter if it is direct material or direct wages or any other expenses which are incurred in X and Y. To the product it will be Indirect. Why am I doing all this? I am doing all this to get that overhead rate expressed in terms of the base. Correct? For what? For my product cost sheet, right? So everything that I need to analyze has to be analyzed from that product point of view. Yes or no? So this is the concept of deemed overhead. So I will give you a note with respect to this at the end. So X and Y's direct wages, direct material, all expenses you will take into consideration, because X and Y in itself are indirect to the product. But A, B, C's direct material and direct wages are absolutely direct to the product, and you will not consider that in overheads chapter. Guys, is this clear? Is this clear? So here in this particular part, they have clearly given us how much is the direct material, direct wages for X and Y department. I do not have to divide, so that results in allocation. Whatever they have given, I will consider that. But the other 4 expenses that they have given here, I will have to divide those expenses in a particular ratio, and that ratio we have already ascertained, right? So that will result in apportionment. So first we will do allocation, then we will do apportionment. We will arrive at our primary distribution summary. Once we are at our primary distribution summary, then we will do the reapportionment of service department costs to production departments using repeated redistribution method. And once that happens, X and Y will show 0, and using A, B, C's overheads, we will calculate the absorption rate. So it's fairly a long problem. Guys, okay? So shall we start? Shall we start? Lots of things have to be done in this problem. So first statement showing apportionment and reapportionment of overheads using repeated redistribution method for SARS Limited. SANS Limited. So particulars A, B, C, X, Y. A, B, C, X, Y. So let's start. Direct material nil. This will not come. 2 lakhs, 1 lakh. 2 lakhs, 1 lakh. Let's say refer note 1. Okay, we will write this note 1 later. We will basically put forth what is the concept of deemed overheads. Okay, so that will explain why I have taken 1 lakh and 2 lakh rupees. Next, direct wages nil. For X and Y, 1 lakh and 2 lakh. 1 lakh and 2 lakh. Next, so for this also write refer note 1. Refer note 1. Guys, next, factory rent. So you told me this was in the ratio of, in the ratio of area, in the ratio of area. So what is the ratio of area, guys? 500, 250, 500, 250, 500. So can I simply say this is 2:1:2:2:1:2? Yes or no? 2:1:2:2:1:2. So 2:1:2:1:2. This is my ratio. So let's start dividing, guys. Let's start dividing. How much was my factory rent? 4 lakh. Factory rent was 4 lakh. So let's divide. So first one is 1 lakh. First one is 1 lakh. Second one is half of that. Then again 1 lakh. Then 50,000. 1 lakh. Yes, correct, Harriet. That's right. So factory rent is done. Guys, next, which is my next cost? Power. Power. So in the ratio of HP into machine hours. Guys, for this, we will show working note number 1. Working note number 1. So let's go to working note number 1. Calculation of the ratio for apportionment of power cost. For apportionment of power cost. So particulars A, B, C, X and Y. So machine hours. Guys, what are the machine hours given? 1000, 2000, 4000, 1000. HP of machines. How much is it given? 50, 40, 20, 15, 25. So machine hours into HP of machines. Guys, calculate. 50,000, 80,000, 80,000, 15,000, 25,000. 25,000. So ratio will be 5:8:8:1.5:2.5. 5:8:8:1.5:2.5. I've removed 4 zeros. So this is my ratio. So can I go back there and say this is my ratio? So 5:8:8:8. 5:8:8:2.5:1.5. 1.5:2.5. Let's divide. So how much is my power cost? 2,50,000. So first one 50,000. Second one 80,000. Third one 80,000. $15,000. $25,000. Right. So 50, 80, 80, 15,000, 25,000. Done. So factory rent check, power check. Next cost, depreciation. Depreciation we know should be on the basis of, in the ratio of value of assets. So value of assets they have given 24211. So can I say 2:4:2:1:1, right? So 2:4:2:1:1. 24211. Perfect. How much is the depreciation? 1 lakh. 1 lakh. So 20,000, 40,000, 20,000, 10,000, 10,000. That's right. Guys, next cost, other overheads. Other overheads. So other overheads in the ratio of direct wages. So what is that ratio? Direct wages. Can I say 5:2:8:1:2? 5:2:8:1:2. So eight is to 1:2. Total other overheads 9 lakhs. Guys, please divide this. So first one is 2,50,000. Next 1 lakh. Next 4 lakhs. $50,000. $1 lakh. Please check if you've got this right. So we have divided everything. Factory rent done, power done, depreciation done, other overheads done. So nothing else is pending. So All expenses are done. So let's take a total of this. This becomes my secondary distribution summary. Secondary distribution summary. Guys, total it and tell me how much you're getting. First one should be 4,20,000. Oh, sorry. Primary distribution summary. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Thank you. Primary distribution summary. Guys, calculate the total. Tell me the totals, please. So this should be 4,20,000. Then 2,70,000. Then 6 lakhs. Then 425. $535. Please check. So I've got my primary distribution summary. Primary distribution summary. Guys, now what do? Now I have to do the reapportionment. But using repeated redistribution method. Please note x is serving y is serving x. So let's do this using repeated redistribution method. So first, let's divide x is overhead. Okay. So in this, again, because this is a different method, we are not going to use simultaneous equations. What is the balance under x? Balance is 425. So we will divide this balance amongst all the other departments. Guys, in what ratio? In what ratio will we be dividing it? X is giving its portion of overheads to A, B, C and Y in the ratio of 45 is to 15 is to 30 is to 10. 30 is to 10. Am I right? So now divide this 4,25,000 in this ratio. So 191, 250, 63, 750, 127, 500, and 42, 500. And 42, 500. Guys, is that correct? Is that correct? Now, Y's overhead. Now, Y's overhead. How much is Y's overhead? Total 577, 500. Now guys, this 577 500 will be divided between A, B, C and X again. And X again. See, in simultaneous equation, we found out the share that X will receive from Y in total. Correct? Similarly, what we did in simultaneous equation for Y was we determined the share of X that Y will be receiving in total. In this method, we are not going to get the total. So in parts, we have to determine the share. So that's why I divided 425. 425 is not the total overheads for X. Similarly, 535 is not the total overheads for Y. Okay, in simultaneous, I derived the total and then divided it. But here I have to do it in pieces. So first I divided 425. But X has to still receive its share from Y. Yes or no? So let it receive, no problem. We'll again divide it. So Y's overhead. Y is dividing its expenses in the ratio of 60-35. 60-35. It gives nothing to C. So nothing. And it is giving X to the extent of 5%. So let's divide this. 346 500 202 125. C will be nil and X gets 288.75. 288.75. Guys, is this correct? Now the problem is the balance in X has not become 0. So what do? Again we will divide. Again we will divide. So we will keep repeating this process till it becomes 0. That is why this method is called as repeated redistribution, which means you have to keep distributing repeatedly till the balance does not become 0. So again, let's do X is overheads. 45 is to 15 is to 30 is to 10. So 28,875. This is what I'm going to divide. So let's divide in this ratio. So 12994. 4331. 8662. 2887. Just add up the total. There should be a difference of 1 rupee somewhere. Yeah, I'm getting a difference of 1 rupee. So what I'll do is I'll add it here. Because this was 8662.5. So I took it as 8662 only. So I'll make it 8663 here. Now it will totally tally. Now again X has become 0 but Y again has a balance of 2887. So again we will distribute. So Y's overhead 60 is to 35 is to nil is to 5. Let's distribute this again. So we have to keep doing it till it becomes 0. So 2887 into, you get 1732. 1010. C will be nil. This will be 144. Check the balances, guys. 144 plus 1010 plus 1732. 2886 I am getting. Let me make the first one 1733. 1 rupee difference. Now again X has a balance, which means again I have to divide it. So X is overheads. X is overheads. So let's divide it 144 minus, in what ratio will I divide? Same, 45, 15, 30, 10. So let's divide. 65 rupees here, 22 rupees here, 43 rupees here, 14 rupees here. Check if it is tallying. 14 plus 43 plus 22 plus 65 gives me 144. Yes, it is tallying. Now again wise overhead I have to divide. It has still not become 0. So 14. In what ratio? 60 is to 35 is to nil is to 5. Let's divide. 8 rupees, 5 rupees, nil, guys. So I get 0.7 under x. Now you can stop. We cannot, if you were to divide points also, then this method would never end. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's make this 6 rupees. Okay, let's make this 6 rupees. So now it tallies. So if you see guys, even in this problem they haven't mentioned anything, and after we have done 3 cycles, what, this is cycle 1, this is cycle 2, this is cycle 3 of division of both x and y. After 3 cycles only it has ended, correct? In the examination, if they have asked you specifically do up to 4 cycles or do up to 5 cycles, they will not ask up to 4 and 5, because if you see, it becomes very cumbersome to keep dividing and redividing. Okay, but if they say no, do 4 cycles, and you have to do 4 cycles and show them. Otherwise, if nothing is specified in the problem, and if I have got a 2-digit number like this, which is a small number, I can stop after 3 cycles. I can stop after 3 cycles. Okay, so now all balances have become 0. X has also become 0. Y has also become 0. So now add this up. This is my secondary distribution summary. This is my secondary distribution summary. Guys, add up all the figures and tell me how much you are getting. So I'm getting 972,550 here. 972,550. Second one is 541,244. Please check. And 736,206. These are the figures which you all have given me. Please check, cross verify if these figures are right. So guys, apportionment done, allocation done, reapportionment done using the repeated redistribution method, right? So now we will move on to absorption. So guys, how are we supposed to absorb? What have they given in the problem? So see this, in this problem, this part is complete where we have shown the apportionment. This part is complete where we have shown the reapportionment, but absorption is still pending. How have they asked us to absorb? Using machine hours, So let's write down machine hours. Guys, what are the machine hours for the given problem? For department A, B and C, 1000, 2000, 4000. See here, 1000, 2000, 4000. So 1000 hours 2000 hours, 4000 hours. Yes or no? So let's calculate. Let this be A, let this be B. So machine hour rate will be A divided by B. A divided by B. So let's calculate per hour rate. So the first one is 972.55 per hour. Second one, 270.62 per hour. And 184.05 per hour. So these are my machine hour rates. And step 6, which is absorption. Copy. Guys, okay? So we have completed this problem. We have done step 1 to step 6. Now only one thing was pending. What was that one thing? We had to write that note. Correct? We had to write that note. So please write down the note. So this is note 1. So let's write direct wages and direct material costs for service departments are indirect costs to the product which is being manufactured because the product is not passing through these service departments. Hence direct costs of service departments will be considered while preparing primary distribution summary, while preparing primary distribution summary, as they are considered as deemed overheads, as they are considered as deemed overheads, as they are considered as deemed overheads. Right, guys? But the direct costs of production departments will not be considered, because those costs will be direct to the product, and if they are direct, then they are not part of overheads. They will come as part of prime cost. Which chapter are we studying? We are studying overheads. Guys, is it okay? Everybody? Now, you have done this apportionment, reapportionment and absorption, right? So you have got these figures which I have highlighted. What is the use of these figures? What is the use of these figures? Let's say we are calculating the total costs associated with a product. Okay, let's say we are calculating the total cost associated with the product which is being manufactured in departments A, B and C of the given problem. Okay, let's say the material cost is say 1000 rupees, labor cost is, let's say 1800 rupees, and this particular product is passing through department A, B and C. Okay, it is spending 1 hour in department A, 0.5 hours in department B and 2 hours in department C. Now, if you were to calculate the total cost associated with this product and the selling price, guys, how will you calculate? You will prepare the cost sheet. So, material will be 1000, labor will be 1800. How will you get overheads? How will you get overheads? From ABC, guys, you have already calculated the overhead rates per hour, correct? Now you will charge these to this particular product. So we know in department A it is taking 1 hour. So 1 hour into what is the rate per hour in department A? 972.55. So 972.55 gives me 972.55, correct? In department B, it is spending only 0.5 hours into what is the rate in department B? 270.62. So how much do you get? 135.31. Correct? In department C, how many hours is it spending? 2 hours. And what is the rate? 184.05. So how much do you get? 368.1. So guys, when you total this up, what will you get? You will get the total cost. So let's calculate what is the total cost. You get 4275.96. Guys, correct? To this we will add our profit and then determine the selling price. So why did I show you this? I showed you this to connect to the cost sheet, that what is the reason for calculating those overhead rates, where are they being used. Okay, so what I want you to do is, let's consider this as an example from this particular problem only, and just show this in your book. This is just for your understanding how we are connecting overhead rates to the cost sheet. Why do we need to calculate the application of these overhead rates? Please copy this down. Please copy this down. So this is how these overhead rates that you have calculated in production departments will be used. They will be used to charge our product. Guys, are we done? So this ends problem number 4. Okay, we will move on to the next problem.